Comedians have a responsibility to speak recklessly. Sometimes the funniest thing to say is mean. Remember, I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it because it's funny. Let's play. Are you ready? I must tell you, I've never had a problem with white people ever in my life. But full disclosure, the poor whites are my least favorites. We've gotten a lot of trouble out of them. And I've never seen so many of them up close. I looked them right in their coal-smeared faces. And to my surprise, you know what I didn't see? I didn't see one deplorable face in that group. I saw some angry faces and some determined faces, but they felt like decent folk. No, they did. In fact, I'm not even lying, and I didn't sound fucked up, but I felt sorry for them. I know the game now. I know that rich white people call poor white people trash. And the only reason I know that is because I made so much money last year, the rich whites told me they say it at a cocktail party. And I'm not with that shit. And I stood with them in line like all of us Americans are required to do in a democracy. Nobody skips the line to vote. And I listened to them. I listened to them say naive, poor white people things. Man, Donald Trump's gonna go to Washington and he's gonna fight for us. I'm standing there thinking to my mind, you dumb motherfucker. You are poor. He's fighting for me. You know, I'm gonna give you a history lesson, because I'm sure this wasn't on your entry exam. But every naturalized American has heard something about what I'm about to tell you. Picture it's the early 50s in the United States. This 14-year-old boy goes down from Chicago to Mississippi to meet his extended family for the first time. He'd never been to Mississippi. And before he went, his mother said to him, very pointedly, she said, if a white man looks you in your eyes in Mississippi, look away. And I don't know what you know about black people from Chicago, but they're not a scared people. Legend has it, he was in front of a convenience store, hanging out with his cousins, having a good time, and a white woman walked out of the store, and he thought she was pretty, and he said, bye, baby. Not realizing that he had just made a fatal mistake. 4 days later, a group of adult white men burst into this family's home and snatched a 14-year-old boy out of bed in front of his family that was powerless to stop them, and he was never seen alive again. His name was Emmett Till. They found his body maybe a few days later. It was in a creek, tied to a wheel so it would sink, horribly beaten and bloated. Hideous. And lucky for everybody in America, his mother was a fucking gangster. She was. If you can imagine, in the very midst of a mother's worst nightmare, this woman had the foresight to think about everybody. She said, leave my son's casket open. She said, the world needs to see what they did to my baby. And every publication here in the United States, from Jet Magazine all the way to the New York Times, had this boy's horribly bloated body on its cover. And if our civil rights movement was a car, this boy's dead body was premium gas. This was a very definitive moment in American history where every thinking and feeling person was like, ugh, we gotta do better than this. And they fought beautifully, and here we all are. Don't forget who I am. Don't forget what I am. I am a black dude. And don't ever forget how I got here. My ancestors were kidnapped. I don't even know where the fuck I'm from. They were put on the bottom of boats. They sailed them across the Atlantic. Many of them died. Only the strongest survived. And once they got here, they beat the humanity out of my people. They turned us into beasts of burdens. They made us do their work. And the irony is, hundreds of years later, they called us lazy. We fought in the Civil War. We damn near freed ourselves. Then in Reconstruction, black people did great. My great-grandfather was a very wealthy man. But then the black coats came, Jim Crow came, and there was 100 years of unspeakable oppression again. Lynchings, all kinds of terroristic acts to keep us in the margins of society. And yet we still fought. And Dr. King was born. And then things got better. 20 years after Dr. King was assassinated, Michael Jackson was moonwalking on television. Something, 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 Barack Obama. And Donald Trump, and now here we all are. 400-year nightmare. Took us 400 years to figure out as a people that white people's weakness the whole time was kneeling during their national anthem. That's a brittle spirit. That's right, nigga. On the rock, it's regular. Ah! Ah! What are you doing, nigga? Stand up! The Vice President of the United States got involved. Mike Pence got involved. He went to the game himself. These niggers will have to stand when they sing that. And all them football players looked up in the stands and saw Mike Pence and said, Mike Pence, come on, y'all. Wu-Tang. Bow! Oh! Foiled. Brittle spirit. I could kill every white person in America at one time. You know how I'd do it? I would just wait for the Super Bowl. And right when they sang the national anthem, I'd have O.J. Simpson walk to the 50-yard line with them bad knees. Is that O.J. Simpson on the field? What the hell is he doing here? Oh, I know what he's gonna do. Stop him! I'll do 2 hard-boiled eggs.
That's funny. Hard-boiled eggs. Hard-boiled eggs are great, but people don't order them.
I don't know.
You just find them in the fridge.
It's like the safest way.
Yeah.
Because the guy never touches the eggs.
Oh, it's untouched.
Yeah, it's a weird road tick.
So, how's this quitting smoking thing gonna happen? How's this gonna work?
This is my plan. It was my exit strategy.
Okay.
So that you still get the fixation of it.
What is the situation of maximum physical distress that you ever did a set?
I was about to go on stage, and like as they're like, it's all the ballyhoo, Dave Chappelle. Not to be gross. Suddenly I had to like take a shit really bad. But I'm getting ready to go out. So the question is, can I wait an hour?
Yeah.
But it was that precarious. I don't know if I ate something.
Yeah.
But I did it.
You made the hour.
Yeah. And then I said, good night, everybody. I got off stage. I walked directly off stage, jumped in the car, had to find my fucking hotel like a time bomb.
Why didn't you go to the dressing room?
Because I have a weird quirk of like, I just can't do that.
You have no road game.
Yeah.
You only play home game. This is one of the great things about the rectum. The rectum it's really got the worst job in the body. It's the lowest rung of the ladder.
You have one job.
You got one job.
You stay shut.
Yeah. But the amazing thing about it is that it does have a little social awareness of things that need to be dealt with.
That's absolutely.
It's like it knew, look, I'm just a rectum, but I see there's a show going on here, and I'm gonna have to hang till this show. So even though he's on this very low level, there's a little awareness. I understand. Guys, hold up. He's got a show.
He's got 10 more minutes.
What do you mean, hold up? It's none of your business. I'm in charge here.
There was a thing you said in the interview. It was a funny imagery. You said, maybe my show will be one of those shows that just gets yellow. Do you? Yeah.
Like The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's such a precise detail. I knew exactly what. It's gonna get yellow.
Everybody who has ever done a TV series never stops whining. How hard? Wasn't it so hard? Yeah, it was hard. But when we created something and contributed something, do you feel a little obligated? Like, if you're able to contribute that, maybe you should do it.
It's sometimes the offering drives. Like, if I had an idea, like, it's a drive, but it's just like the idea says, get in the car. And I'm like, where am I going?
Right,
And
yes.
the idea said, I don't know, don't worry, I'm driving. And then you just get there.
The idea is driving.
Sometimes I'm shotgun, sometimes I'm like in the trunk. The idea takes you where it wants to go.
That's great.
And then other times, you know, there's me, it's my ego, like, I should do something.
I should be driving.
Yeah. And
That's not good.
No, because there's no idea in the car.
Right.
It's just me. That formula doesn't work.
If the idea is in the car honking, going, let's go, it pulls up in front of your house.
That's exactly right.
Right? And you're in your pajamas. You get dressed.
Not ready.
I'm not ready.
No, but you can go like this. Where we going? Don't worry about it. You'll see. Yeah, all right. I live in Ohio, and anyone that knows anything about Ohio knows that even the word Ohio is an old Native American word. It means, literally, land of poor white people. And I don't know what's going on down here, but in my experience, poor white people love, and I mean they fucking love, heroin. They can't seem to get enough of it. I didn't even know what I was looking at first. I was just driving like, why are all these white people so sleepy out here? These things. It's really bad. As a matter of fact, I was coming out of a nightclub the other night in Dayton, and I'd parked my car in the alley, and no one was out there. I didn't have no bodyguards or nothing. I was home. I figured everything was fine. And as soon as I opened my car door, all by myself, suddenly one of these heroin-addicted whites just pops out of a trash can. It scared the shit out of me. I screamed, ah! And then I realized it was a woman. She was fucked up. She said, hey man, relax, okay? I'm sick, all right? I need some drugs, man. Please, I'll suck your dick for $5, man. I was like, ugh. 2. Obviously, I'm joking. This opioid crisis is a crisis. I see it every day. It's as bad as they say. It's ruining lives. It's destroying families. Sadly, you know what it reminds me of, seeing it? It reminds me of us. These white folks look exactly like us during the crack epidemic. You know, it's really crazy to see. And all this shit they talk about on the news about how divided the nation is, I don't believe it. I feel like nowadays we're getting a real good look at each other. It's wild because I even have insight into how the white community must have felt watching the black community go through the scourge of crack. Because I don't care either. Hang in there, whites. Just say no. What's so hard about that? Remember when y'all said that to us? But it's okay. There's no grudges. Now you finally got it right. Once it started happening to your kids, you realize it's a health crisis. These people are sick. They are not criminals. They are sick. I'll be real with you, and I know nobody gives a fuck what I think anyway. I'm not for abortion. Oh, shut up, nigga. I'm not for it, but I'm not against it either. It all depends on who I get pregnant. I don't care, I'll tell you right now, I don't care what your religious beliefs are or anything. If you have a dick, you need to shut the fuck up on this one. Seriously. This is theirs. The right to choose is their unequivocal right. Not only do I believe they have the right to choose, I believe that they shouldn't have to consult anybody, except for a physician, about how they exercise that right. Gentlemen, that is fair. And ladies, to be fair to us, I also believe if you decide to have the baby, a man should not have to pay. That's fair. If you can kill this motherfucker, I can at least abandon him. It's my money, my choice. And if I'm wrong, then perhaps we're wrong. Figure that shit out for yourselves. Tonight I'm gonna do something that I'm not particularly good at, but that I like to do. Tonight I'm gonna try some impressions out. I only got two. All right, the first impression's kind of dumb, but I like it. This is my impression, you ready? This is my impression of the founding fathers of America when the Constitution was being written. You ready? Here it goes. Hurry up and finish that Constitution, nigger. I'm trying to get some sleep. It's not bad, right? All right, the next one. The next one's a little harder. I want to see if you can guess who it is I'm doing an impression of. All right, let me get into character. You got to guess who it is, though. Okay, here it goes. Hey, if you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm gonna try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you. That's what the audience sounds like to me. That's why I don't be coming out doing comedy all the time, because y'all niggas is the worst motherfuckers I've ever tried to entertain in my fucking life.
I've been watching that new OJ show. I can't get enough of that shit. Doesn't it bring back good memories? But I forgot how, like, just how polarizing that OJ case was. And you know, I've met OJ Simpson on 4 different occasions in my life. And before the end of the show, I will tell you about each of those occasions. The first time I met OJ Simpson, I was in Santa Monica. Santa Monica? Yeah. I can't believe a black dude was like, Santa Monica. He was the last niggas I was expecting to say that. Let's see your shoes. You got some Vans on, nigga? What you got on? Santa Monica! You? At the time, I was 18. I had done a show, and then a guy from the club came up and was like, hey, O.J. Simpson's here, and he said he wants to meet you. I said, what? Fuck yeah. I ran down the steps, and O.J. was down there. He's like, hey, yo, man, how are you? It's very good to meet you, and you're doing really good work, and I hope good things happen for you in your life. I was like, man, thanks, Mr. Juice. Standing beside him, well, I don't know the nice way to say this, his soon-to-be slain wife. Ladies and gentlemen, man the fuck up or you're not gonna make it through the end of this show. Just man the fuck up. She's dead, you already know, we know what happened. We don't know who did it, but we know what happened. I should tell you that woman was very nice to me. She actually embraced me. She said, I think you're adorable. And she hugged me. She goes, good luck to you. And she held me for a long time. And I whispered in her ear, bitch, are you trying to get us both killed? I'm just kidding, I didn't say that. But that was the first time in a nutshell. The second time I met O.J. Simpson. Was right after the trial of the century. There I was, now a young man of probably 23. O.J. Simpson was the most famous or infamous face on planet Earth. I was in a restaurant in Beverly Hills with my agents. I wasn't alone in the restaurant, but I was alone. I was the only black person in the restaurant. And in the 90s, that felt very uncomfortable. Now I tend to enjoy it at this age. I was having dinner with my agents, celebrating a deal that they told me was lucrative, but I later learned fucking sucked. And suddenly, a group of women walked by. Every race was in that group. Black, white, Asian, Latina, white, and white again. They were all gorgeous. I watched them walk by. Then, I saw a familiar face. Al Collins, the man from the infamous Bronco chase, walked by and embraced one of the women, and they walked towards the door. Couldn't believe what I saw. And then, close behind him, was O.J. Simpson, newly released from jail. The restaurant fell still. I was shocked. I didn't mean to say it out loud, but it just came out. O.J. He stopped, turned around to see who said it, saw my black face, and correctly assumed it was me. I was sitting in the corner of the booth. He leaned over all the white people I was having dinner with and shook my hand. How are you, young man? He looked in my eyes, and I could see in his eyes that he didn't remember meeting me the first time. And then he walked away. And I looked back at my agents, and all of them had nothing short of disgust on their faces. And the only one with the courage to voice their disgust was a woman named Sharon, who used to represent me. How could you, she said. How could you shake hands with that murderer? I said, Sharon, with all due respect, that murderer ran for over 11,000 yards. And he was acquitted, so, you know, fuck it. Glove didn't fit. Glove didn't fit. Get over yourself. The third time I met O.J. Simpson. Third time I met O.J. Simpson, I was doing great in life. I just finished the second season of Chappelle's show. Man, those were good days. I was playing a comedy club in Miami, the Improv. I don't know if you've ever been, but if you have, you'd know. The door for the green room is right on the stage. Can you imagine such a thing? If I walked out of the door of the green room, bam, I'm just right here. It's right from the dressing room. And I did that. I walked out, and the whole crowd was like, hooray! And I looked, ma'am, as close as you are to me, I saw him as soon as I came out, the Juice. And I saw recognition in his eyes, and it filled me with pride that he knew who I was. I didn't acknowledge his presence because it was a white audience, and I didn't want to start a panic. But I did my show. Show went great. I said, good night, everyone. They all said, yay! And I didn't say nothing to OJ, but I just gave him the signal, let him know I knew he was there. And I walked into the green room, and OJ was already in there. I was like, how the fuck is this possible? I was scared. And then my friends came in, and we all started talking. We sat down on the couch, and I'm just telling you what I saw with my own eyes. You can believe me or not believe me. But in my experience, O.J. Simpson, one of the nicest men I'd ever met. He was nice to me. He was nice to my friends. The conversation was filled with warmth and levity, humor, and wisdom. We talked for 90 minutes, and then suddenly the Juice said, you know what? I've got to be going. But it's good to see you again, and I'm glad things went so well. I said, thanks, Juice. And my friend said, yeah, goodbye, Mr. Juice. They're new to the game. He said, no, thank you for your hospitality. Good night, guys. And we said, good night. And he just walked out of the room. And as soon as the door closed, we all looked at each other like, that nigga did that shit. I could feel like murder in the room. Wait. I forgot. The fourth time I met O.J. Simpson. The fourth time is not the funniest time, but it was the last time I'd see the Juice. For some reason, I was at the Kentucky Derby. It's a very long story. This is right after I quit Chappelle's show in spectacular fashion. There was a party hosted by Michael Jordan, and every athlete I'd ever admired was in that room. Yes. And then I saw a familiar face by the bar, standing there, drinking alone. It was Chris Tucker. Now, you have to remember, at this time, we were both technically missing. And we went over and were talking with one another, and motherfuckers were amazed to see us together. Seeing me and Chris Tucker at that point would be like seeing Bigfoot riding a unicorn. You wouldn't believe that's what you were saying. And then, through all the gawkers, a familiar face pushed through the crowd. Here he was again, the Juice. He had his camera ready. He was like, Dave, Chris, good to see you guys. Hey, come on, guys, let's all get together for a picture. And at the same time, me and Chris were like, no. Can't do that. Sorry, Juice, my career's too flimsy to survive a picture with you. That's the end. Good night.
I came home from the road. This is not long ago. I've been gone for, if you can picture, I was gone for weeks and weeks. And when I came back, nobody was home. Now, one person in my family thought that maybe I'd like to see them when I got back. Like, They knew when I was coming back, but they just weren't home. And that shit was a wake-up call. You know, like when my kids were little and the tour bus would pull up to the house, these motherfuckers would spill out. Dad is home, hooray! And they'd hug me and kiss me, and then as the years went on, they'd get less interested. Hey, everybody, look, it's Mr. Promises back from the road. But empty house, that's some cold shit. And I went into my oldest son's room. I was like, hello, hello. He was gone. And I'd never done this to him before, but for some reason I just did it. I just looked through his shit. Just to see who this motherfucker was becoming. And I found these notebooks and I started going through the notebooks and it was all this wonderful poetry in them. Written in his handwriting. I didn't even know this nigga wrote poems. And then I looked through his drawers and I opened up his middle drawer and I found this rolling paper. And I looked down at them papers like, oh, that's where that poetry's coming from. And that shit broke my heart. I mean, I smoked weed, but I mourned my son's innocence. And I cried a little bit. And I took his papers upstairs to my room. Rolled some weed that I'd hid from the family. And I got really high. And then I got paranoid, so I put his papers back how I found them. So he wouldn't know what I was up to. This nigga won't even know that happened until he sees the special. Yeah, nigga, I found your papers.
But we as a nation, we have been traumatized by these horrific laws and people being imprisoned for having weed. And it highlights the absurdity of not only it having been illegal and so crazy for so many years, but also highlights how the next generation will not believe our stories about it at all. There's a 0% chance they will understand what we're talking about. It'd be like trying to tell a kid now, like, hey, you know, pigeons used to deliver messages to people. They'd be like, the fuck are you saying right now? It'll be the same thing. I'm gonna sit my son down one day and be like, you know, when I was your age, to get weed, I almost died. And he'll be like, why? Was 7-Eleven on fire or something? They didn't sell it at 7-Eleven. Daddy used to get in cars with strangers. Where are we going? Chill out, all right. The 3-hour round trips to buy weed. And if you're like, oh, what kind of weight were you moving? $20 worth of marijuana. That kind of major shit. I bought weed from a dude in a standalone trailer one time. Not a trailer park, a solo trailer. The most terrifying housing situation that exists. Like where other trailer people are like, get the fuck out of here. They kick him out. I just walk up to that shit, 15. And this dude's like, you trying to get a sack? I was like, oh shit, yeah. He goes, we could go do that. I was like, all right, cool. And he goes, we just need to go get it. I was like, you don't fucking have it? Isn't that your sole responsibility? So I tried to play cool. I was like, all right, let's go get it. He goes, I'll go get it. You stay here and watch my place. And I was like, okay. And he goes, there's a .357 and a shotgun on my bed. Anybody comes in here, blast them. Inside, paralysis. But what I said was, that's what's up. Like, yeah, man. And then he stopped at the door and he goes, but don't shoot my mom. I go, can we get a description before we agree to terms? How about a height and weight on old mom?
I have good news. I finally smoked weed with my mom. Did it. Took me 36 years of campaign and finally did it. Now, keep in mind, my mom is a 700-year-old Jew, okay? It wasn't easy. No, she came in my house. We were in Los Angeles, and I'm driving around with my mom, and I go, Mom, smoke pot with me. She goes, no, it's illegal. And I go, no, it's not. It's legal now. And she goes, oh, okay. I swear to God, it was that easy. So we went to my house, and I'm trying to smoke a bowl with her, and she can't inhale. She looks like Dizzy Gillespie the whole time. She's like... So I give her a little weed cookie, and then we start playing Scrabble, and then 20 or 30 minutes later, her eyes got all red, and she looked up at me, and she goes, my mouth is dry. Is that part of the appeal? And then she snapped, and she was like, bring it in. Bill Cosby didn't do it. I did it. And I haven't seen her since.
My dad just found marijuana. 70 years old, started eating it every night. 20 milligrams, my mom says. Dad's eating 20. That's what I said. I was like, that's a lot. I goes, are there any side effects? She goes, other than the fact that he calls me bro a lot? No. We go down to Tampa, spend some time with my parents. We're out on their dock, my whole family, my dad, my mom. You can tell when my dad's weed kicks in because he starts humming Jimmy Buffett songs. All of a sudden, he just pops up, turns around to us. He goes, who wants to talk to an owl tonight, huh? I look at my mom. I go, how much weed is Harry Potter eating? My mom's like, no, he talks to an owl every night. Show him, Albert. My dad just gets on the edge of the dock and goes, hoo! My idiot kids are like, Papa, should we hoot too? He's like, yeah, come on, girls, we'll all hoot. Let's do it. Here we go. Hoo! Hoo! Now, the three of them are on the edge of the dock like three Crips letting them know cops are in the neighborhood. Hooty-hoo! Hooty-hoo! Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! 5 minutes goes by. 5 minutes, we don't hear a sound. I look at my dad, I go, hey, Dad, maybe we should sit down. I don't think your owl's out tonight. He's like, yeah, that's crazy. He's always out. Don't worry, we'll try again tomorrow, girls. Pour a glass of wine. 30 seconds later, clear as a bell, all of us hear, whoo. I get chill bumps. I look at my dad and I go, Dad, it's your owl. He's like, I told you, bro. He's like, I'll get him going, and once I get him going, we can all talk to him, all right? Hoo! And right on top of it, we hear, hoo! 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 My oldest daughter goes, Dad, I go, shut the fuck up. We're talking to an owl. She goes, Dad, I go, wait your turn, bitch, I'm next. She goes, Dad, look across the lake at the old man on his dock. Sure as shit, there's another drunk, blind old white man just, hoo! 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 These two are like Ric Flair in a cave, just, hoo! 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 Hoo!
I went away on a lads' weekend. Oh, yeah, lads. I was with Digby and Rupert, and quite a threesome. That sounded less gay in my head. That's the most overrated thing in the world, by the way, the threesome. Sorry, this is a bit of an aside. I had a threesome once at school, okay? It was with this beautiful Italian exchange student called Maria, and this chap called Monkford. And, you just get in each other's way. Eventually I had to be like, I think it's probably best if you go and just leave us two together. Fortunately, she was very understanding. Monkford, odd chap, but a bloody good teacher. So, lads' weekend, okay, we went to Amsterdam, all right? So we're in Amsterdam, and me and my chums, Roops and Diggers, right? We're down this kind of back street, and one of them, Diggers, naughty guy, okay, Diggers is smoking some of the weedy puff. Yeah, I'm not really into it, as you'd probably guessed by the fact that I just called it weedy puff out loud. Weedy puff, weed, that's how normal people talk, Jack. No, so he was smoking some weed, and he turned to me, and he went, you know, Jack, do you want to have a suck on this? Not suck. That is not the word that he used. That is not what he... This story's going really well. Yeah, I was down a back street with one of my friends, and he asked if I wanted to have a suck on this. That is not... I'm having a brain bug. Well, not suck. What's the word? Puff. Thank you to the crackle down the front. Do you want to have a puff on this weed? Anyway, I said no, because, you know, we're in public. It's not a great look. What if someone sees? He went, Jack, two things. Firstly, it's legal. Secondly, we're in Holland. No one knows who the fuck you are. Smoke it. Now, I'm not proud, okay? I gave in to the peer pressure. This is why you cannot smoke a spliff on the street in the year 2017. I shit you not, as I put this spliff to my lips, I looked up on the bloody Google Maps car with the 360 camera was driving.
If Martin Luther King had a sneaker deal, we'd still be on the back of the bus. They always true, the Nike exec come up, hi, Martin, we need you to tone down the talk of civil rights and blacks being humans. It's upsetting our southern distributors. But I don't understand. I thought that's why I had a sneaker deal in the first place. Not quite. Really, it's a walking shoe, and we like the marching, but try to understand.
You ever wake up just terrified? Like I sit up and I'm like, ah! Why am I a bad person?
Stamps make me nervous because I don't know how many you're supposed to put on. Like where they're gonna be like, you should put one more on. And they changed the price of stamps, and that's not in the news, you know? You don't find that out on Twitter. You have to find out from old people. They're the only people that know. They keep up with it. They're like, stamps went up. You're like, okay. All right. Is it $100? Like, they're furious. They're like, is it $100 a stamp? It's 3 more pennies.
I guess spicy food is my scary movies, right? If you think about it, spicy food is actually a lot like scary movies. You know, if it's good, you feel alive, excited, you know, an addictive frisson. If it's really good, you shit yourself.
Lesbians live in the shadows. You know, lesbians are like bees. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. But also, if they all die, the world ends. And you do, like, lesbians do, you scare me a little bit. I'm intimidated by lesbians. You're a bit scary. I think lesbians are so scary that even AIDS was like, let's stick to less terrifying things, like needles and buttholes. And lesbians definitely leave their mark on the world. It's just sometimes a little more subtle. Like, lesbians wore khakis so hard that now when men wear khakis, they look like lesbians.
Even the word uncle still creeps me out, right? Uncle, it's kind of a creepy word a little bit, right? Uncle, uncle, uncle. Like, I was home visiting my family recently, and I texted my sister. I was like, hey, do you have the kids? I'm looking for some uncle time. And my phone, on its own, called the police. And it's like...
And the last thing you see on the George Washington tour is George Washington's teeth in a case. And if you know, the myth is George Washington had wooden teeth. Turns out George Washington had, it was ivory and lead dentures with horse and cow teeth on the top row and human slave teeth on the bottom row. Damn, what the fuck? That's it. That's how the tour ends. You gotta walk outside to a hot, sunny parking lot. Like, what the fuck was that at the end? Also, lead with the teeth. Show me the teeth. Right away, dude. Don't make me love George Washington for 2 hours. And at the very end, be like, you want to see some wild shit? Like, and once you see his teeth, every story about him makes perfect sense. Like, he was a man of few words. It's like, yeah, dude, he had fucking donkey teeth and fucking lead in his mouth for a decade. You can't keep lead in your mouth for a decade. That would give you, for real, like rabies-like symptoms. You die. Like, I can't believe we defeated the British. So I know how we did it.
I was very sheltered growing up. I was terrified of sex. I thought I would be bad at it. Now that I'm older, it's so easy to be good at sex, isn't it? Oh my gosh. All you have to do is approach it with the enthusiasm of a child. Just put everything in your mouth. Like, if you can reach it and it fits, that's where it goes. Pretend you're 4 and your partner's made of Legos. It's not...
My boyfriend, I gotta brag, he is a violinist. A good one, not a bad one. Yeah. Violinist. I mean, how many violinists do you meet? How many violins do you meet? Not many. Sometimes I'll hear him playing the violin, okay, in a room, just... And it's spooky, you know? I get anxiety. I start feeling like I'm on the Titanic. You know when it's sinking, the violin people come out, son, son, son. So I just start grabbing all my valuables. I'm like, quick, get some oatmeal. Get my dog, get a slab of wood. He comes out, he's like, what are you doing with my wood door? I'm like, women are chosen first, bitch.
My fear is having a home invasion. That's my biggest fear. Growing up, our house got robbed 3 separate times. Now as an adult, I got a fear waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I got another guy in my bedroom. Now, I don't got a gun. I got nothing against guns, but again, I'm 49 years old and I'm not picking up any new skill sets at my age. I feel gun owners have a good grasp of their gun. They go to the range, they got a lock and key for it, they keep it in a cabinet. Plus, I feel when a gun owner hears somebody breaking into their home, the gun owner gets happy. Right? Here's a little jiggle at the door. He's like, oh, yeah! He tells his wife, just lay there, babe. I know you got a big day. I'm gonna go take care of this guy.
I had a near-death experience. This really happened to me. Have you guys gone to Disneyland? I had a really scary thing happen to me there where I went on the Indiana Jones ride, right? This is true. I went on the Indiana Jones ride. My sister and her 2 kids, they were in the front, and I was in the middle seat. And what it is, it's like an amphibious vehicle, like a Jeep with like 3 wheels. So I get in, and my Jeep, mine, went off the tracks. Went off of the tracks. It jumped up and it went through this like tunnel, like a rock tunnel, and like down, and then I'm like, how do I jump out of this thing? And it goes over this bridge, a bridge that's falling apart. It was like an old broken bridge. I don't know why it was in there. Horrifying. And there's kids in the front, and there's the feeling of arrows whizzing past me, and then awful. And then I look behind me, and there's a boulder coming through like this. So I'm just like, oh, that's okay. People make mistakes. I understand. Like, so I get out, and I get on the ride again. It happened again.
Twitter's a scary place. It is. You only go there to fight, to get into it, to prove a point. And so a friend of mine said, if you want to get some attention, use a hashtag. And so I did. And I wrote a tweet that said, hey, hashtag cancel culture. My name is Gabriel Iglesias, and I'm the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. You cannot cancel or catch me. And I posted it. I had no idea that when you go on Twitter looking for problems, you will find them. Oh, yeah. Every major news outlet picked up my tweet and used it in a story about cancel culture. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. If I would have known that, I would have used spell check. Because my family called. Eres pendejo, qué chingados, ¿qué te pasa? No escribe bien. Oh, my God. Even Fox News did a story with my tweet. Fox News? You know how I know? My bus driver, Dave, called me. Oh, he was thrilled. He was like, Fluffy, God damn it, I've never been prouder. You made it, baby. You're on Fox News.
So my husband does work for that big mobile home company. And he has worked for them for over 25 years, and it's been a blessing to our family. But one of the perks there that they give us is they send us on these trips, unbelievable trips, all over the world. And I've loved them, and it's been wonderful, but a little stressful at the same time, because most of the time it's somewhere tropical, and that's in late January, early February. But sometimes it'll be like Alaska, somewhere like that. Sometimes it's been overseas, but say, for instance, Alaska, and we sign up for excursions before we go. And let me tell you, I don't mind an excursion. I want to go and kiss a husky puppy in the mouth. Do that. But oh no, everybody that goes signs up for these scary, scary excursions. One time we went to Alaska, and my husband signed us up to go on a float plane to see a glacier. And we walk up to this dock, and there's this little float plane floating in the water. And they line us up on this dock, and this little crusty man with a pack of Marlboro Reds comes up to me and says, "What do you weigh?" And I lied. And I watched 9 more people. He asked 9 more people, and I watched them all lie. And I thought, oh my Lord, we're gonna go down.
You can believe the right shit as a liberal, but if you express it incorrectly, you're fucked. It's terrifying. You ever try to talk about like transgender issues in public? Even right now, you're like, we don't gotta do this, Neil. Don't go out like your boy, just move on. But that's exactly my point. It's terrifying. Like, I'm sure we all believe the right shit, but you try to talk about transgender issues in public is like playing conversational Jenga, where you're like, pronouns, he, they, and then Republicans are like, so trannies? We'll call them trannies. What happened here? You guys playing Jenga?
Why would you have kids rehearse for some shit they have no control over? All you're doing is training these kids to worry. It's the stupidest drill I've ever heard of. And while you're in there training them during these drills, well, aren't you training the shooter too? This nigga's in here listening and learning like the other kids. Sit in the back. Where are we supposed to meet? If you're a parent, this shit is terrifying. This shit is real scary. All the parents is looking at each other crazy. Because we know as parents that one of us is raising the shooter. Just don't know which one of us it is. All we know for sure is that if you're a white parent, the chances that it's you exponentially higher than the rest of us.
The reason why I don't trust that white boy Joy, it's because it's been happening. It's been happening for years. And I've had this suspect. It's not for the reasons you think, okay? I don't trust white men because most white men were once white boys, all right? And as a child of the 80s and 90s, every movie and TV show I watched was about a little white boy getting into trouble, and having bad energy, okay? These little white boys love making friends with an extraterrestrial, okay? They will go ahead and find a gremlin, okay? Little white, they having close encounters of the third kind. What are the other two? What are the other two encounters? We don't know. We don't know. Little white boys, I'll tell you right now, little white boys love opening a portal to another dimension. Honey, these bitches will open up a portal and leave you to pick up the pieces. That's a fact. Have you ever seen the movie The Gate? This is from 1989, very formative for me. And it's literally about two little white boys home alone for a holiday weekend, and they open up a pathway to hell. Why couldn't they just order a pizza like everybody else? This is why I don't trust it. It's to the point where nothing scares me more. No image shakes me to my core like seeing one or more white boys riding bicycles. I see a bitch on a bike, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm gonna say, because it means there's a poltergeist afoot. And I do not want to be caught in those crosshairs. I'm gonna say it right now.